Count Base D, Vlog 2025, number 2. It's the day after my son's performance in Philadelphia. I came downstairs for the continental breakfast and it was magnificent. I appreciate you watching the video. This is a heads up to subscribe, and always remember that the like button is my offering plate. As I'm sitting here, I'm contemplating, because there was an airplane crash the night before in Philadelphia, and I was just grateful to be there, to be safe, and to have seen my son. I was really proud of him and how well he did. I was gathering my things, getting ready to go to this meeting that I had in Chinatown. So I rode over there. I was going to be meeting at this place, Ray's Cafe, but first I saw this Hello Kitty looking shop. My daughter loves Hello Kitty, so I just had to run in there and see if there was anything that I had to get her. Then I went to Ray's Cafe. I was supposed to have a meeting, but it got rescheduled. But in the meantime, I just had some coffee. It was great. The place is small and it got really packed fast, so I just wanted to flip the table. I don't really like to hold up people's tables because I used to wait tables at one point, and I know it gets real annoying when people just sit there talking and whatnot and you trying to turn the table. So afterwards, I just walked around Chinatown a little bit. You know, when you're looking around and you're seeing all of these things, this is how you get lyrical fodder. This is how you get ideas and lines start coming. My name is Count Base D, and I've been a hip-hop recording artist for 30 years. This vlog is centered around how I go about living my life, mainly record shopping and things, in order to stay creative. Thank you for streaming my most recent project, Player Programmer, and all the support with the CDs and the t-shirts. Of course, I'm constantly working on new music at all times. This vlog is just kind of show you behind the scenes of what I do when I'm not in the studio. The 50-plus hip-hop lifestyle has way more elbow room than what it did back in the day. I came from a time when creating a master recording had hard costs. Catalog is what you need in this business, and as an individual recording artist in a digital setting, the world is my oyster. Some people ask me, where do I create this catalog? I tell them I live in the center of Pennsylvania, Center County, Penns Valley, about 6 miles to the west of Camp Woodward. The goal is to sustain myself with catalog, the same way a traditional major label sustains itself with catalog. The music is made with source material. I find that touching the source material makes a big difference. So I go about getting the source material by going through all the different secondhand stores and thrift shops. I have some legacy artists that I'm looking for, that I'm always in the hunt for, but other than that, I'm looking for drum breaks. That was one right there by Crystal Gale. And if it's a drum break, I'm looking for 2 copies. We call those doubles. I see Jim Reeves here. It's my father's favorite artist. So when I see CDs, because my father doesn't spin vinyl, but when I see a CD, I'll copy it and send it to him. Notice right here, some of these records are just, common records, but they have them priced at $10, which I consider like, maybe like some overshooting for Discogs pricing. And if I wanted to shop at Discogs, I would have stayed at home. Being in a hurry and just to move it forward faster, I'll go ahead and bounce it from here. This has a nice little break on it, but $10, I consider that a $1 break. So I kept it moving. My philosophy is that I'm either going to sample it. If it's something that I don't need but it's in great condition, I may sell it. Other than that, I'm going to salvage and stream it. That's a Bette Midler break right there. There's no substitute for touching the actual medium. And it's just about what you run into, how you run into it, the happenstance. And of course, you have the +8, -8 pitch control, and you got the 3345, which changes how you may sample. So as you can see, the prices on this side is the same thing. Ernest Tubb Records, Helen Reddy, Tom Jones for $6. I move it to the next booth. This record booth right here was nice. It had some nice things in it, but nothing that I needed. I saw this Motherload for $18, which is cool, yeah, I guess. But, again, if I wanted to shop at Discogs, and you see here, Steve Miller Band, Fly Like an Eagle with some ringwear, and they want $12 for it. I'm good, you know what I mean? I just kind of look through a little bit and just keep it moving. That's how you get through this real fast. This is a nice spot, man, and sometimes you want to splurge. Look, there's a Dexter Wansel right there with the Life on Mars break from Ultimate Breaks and Beats and everywhere. $30, but 25% off. Not crazy, but I'm good. I'm gonna keep digging until my price come. I've had that before. Somebody else has used this and used that. This little spot here, $3 records, not bad though, man. You know what I mean? That was the one. I can't believe I left it. That Rasa, everything you see is me. $3 with the plastic still on it. Found out, man, somebody said that was Eugene McDaniel's sons who did that. And that record is, man, it's a great record. It's something that you gotta get. So I'm trying to be prudent with the money that you give me for my projects that I create this way. I have a standard of a high quality product. I just want to be prudent with the money that you give me for that. So this is a dollar spot here. The condition is pretty decent. So anything I run in here is fair game because the price is right. So a little Barry White sheet music, why not? The price is right. The condition is right. I'm taking it. $1.99 each disc. And the condition here, though, just wasn't all that great. A lot of these places, the condition is going to be bad. Some people are worn out doing this. If it wasn't for me having other things that I'm looking for, some people are tired of it, man. They tired of seeing this record all the time. If you haven't seen this record before, get familiar because it's everywhere. It's just certain records that you think to yourself, every copy of this record is in the thrift stores. This is another one. Some people are worn out and they just shop at Discogs, and I definitely understand that. I look for a lot of other things when I'm out here outside of just records. I also shop for CDs. I'll show you those later. Sometimes you're going through and then next thing you know, you see, oh, a Rockefeller 12-inch, but it's missing the record. So in this bin, it's probably going to be some other stuff to look at. But again, the condition wasn't just all that splendid. I just kept it moving after a little bit. You're going to see a lot of the Andy Williams and stuff. So that was it. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is these 45s because there was a time in my life where I didn't shop for 45s really much at all. And then I remember one time somebody gave me the game that 45s get mastered a lot louder because they were mastered for jukeboxes or the radio and stuff. So if you get a drum break that's off of 45s, it's going to be a lot more powerful than what it would be on just an LP. And then the main thing about shopping for these 45s is once you become familiar with the labels and you know what you're looking for and you know what label it's on, man, it makes it a lot easier and a lot less tedious and treacherous. I buy them for a specific reason. All the source material I buy is for a very specific reason. That's part of traditional beat making. There's a method to this that I've just picked out. I want to share it with you at some point. I'm working on that. Put Your Hand in the Hand by Ocean. On the LP, the break is light, but on the 45, it's got a little bit more meat on the bone. God bless Roger Troutman. I'm always looking for some Roger Troutman. This condition wasn't great, but I'm always looking for Roger Troutman. I was raised in Ohio from 1978 to 1987. WZAK in Cleveland. I used to listen to that station growing up. I also used to listen to WDMT FM 108. Both of those stations play some really great funk music. That was, the thing at the time. And so that's molded my taste and what I like to hear and what I like to make. This record, I didn't even know that the Jacksons made it until I was in my 30s. When I first started getting on the bus to go to kindergarten, the kids in the back was singing this song here, man, and I thought that they made it up themselves. Like that song, God Was Born in New York. That was because the kids were singing Enjoy Yourself, and I thought that they just made it up themselves. I didn't know it was a real song because my parents didn't listen to secular music. These are some of the things also when I'm in the thrift shops that I just don't want to be a hoarder, but there's just fly stuff I'm looking at, you know, and you just, I'd love to have it on my shelves. These things, I think they're called the cat's meow. They haunting me. I want every last one of them I see, and I want to build a whole city and feel like that. But I'm not a hoarder. But if I do run into these, and they got my town Milheim on it, man, you know I'm gonna grab it. So, or if it's anything in Penns Valley, I'm gonna grab it. But, you know, I just check the backs if I don't recognize the building. And sometimes I just learn something about Pennsylvania. For some reason, I'm just drawn to these little items. And every time I'm in the thrift store and I see them, they catch my attention, kind of inspire me a little bit. My thoughts start moving. Again, that's how you get lyrical fodder. My brother and I kind of drill each other and quiz each other on presidential facts, so I'm always trying to tighten up. Saw the Virgo thing. I'm not super into no zodiac, but I was born August 25th. And people who are into it be telling me I act like that to the T. We used to really go crazy if we just had 100 megabytes on a disc. Look at this, 20 gig. Look at this fake raucous logo. Now, this is wild, because in this thrift store, there was just a bunch of 1/4-inch tapes. And when I made my album Pre-Life Crisis, we recorded straight from the 2-inch reels and mixed it down to the 1/4-inch tape. Bob Ludwig mastered my album, and I took all of these tapes. I had dozens of them, of different mixes for him to master Pre-Life Crisis. And I took them, I didn't want them sent, so I brought them all myself. It was so heavy. These weren't blank. They had some stuff on it, like, look at this from 1969. But again, I'm not a hoarder. But I do like my stamps. And this reminds me of a book I used to read to my children back in the day. They also have some disc time with the Appalachian Trail. Keep an eye on that, because that's a little hint, a little clue of something coming soon. See that right there? Now here's a little funny tidbit about me. Anytime that I see some alternative meat product or some kind of outlandish pork, for some reason it just makes me giggle. If I see like a chitlin box, bucket or something like that, it always makes me smile, at least, if not just, you know, giggle a little bit out loud. This is the town of Mifflinburg, and it's real wholesome. I mean, look at this. You leave a little piece of art and you take a piece of art. Man, if I'd have had a player programmer, I'd have dropped a CD in there. You know, hats and gloves free for the kids. Just a beautiful thing, man. It's a wholesome town. It just feels good. Throughout the month, I've seen this pavilion start to get built. And, you know, the Amish, they don't play. It doesn't matter if it's cold, if it's not. If they got something to build, it's finna get done. They got the roof on it now. And then all of a sudden, you know, the snow came and you can see whatever's up underneath is protected. They still going at it, man. Even up to today, they was making it happen. You can see all up under there. This is how they do. It's the realness. This is Mam's Donuts in Reeversburg. I'm getting apple pinwheel or something like that. You know, I don't always eat right. I put together the Lego record player. It was my first time putting together Legos too. When I was a child, there were Legos around. You put together a couple on top of each other, but I never put together a set before in my life. I felt it was apropos It was nice to be able to show you guys this. You know, it comes together. Pretty fly. Finally got the cold weather after about 3 or 4 years of the winters being really mild around here. Maybe this spring, the ticks and the bugs will just be a lot less than what they have been in the last 3 or 4 years. Throughout these vlogs, you're going to hear me say a lot of philosophical things, but they're my personal philosophy. And I'm not saying that it's a one size fits all for everyone. This is how I do it. I'm sharing it because a lot of folks, young folks, ask me about how I do my thing. And the way that I do my thing is inspired by the graffiti writers and rap music that was released circa 1986 to 1996. After that time, I started to enter into a different way of making the music that was influenced by what came from 86 to 96, and then put my style of hip hop and also traditional music into it. After 1996 is when I went independent first. I wasn't with the major label anymore, and I was independent, and I started developing this method. Book-wise, I'm looking for musicians' memoirs, reference books, and sometimes sheet music. Yes, I do read music, but I don't sight read music. But sometimes it's good to have a reference point of sheet music because I can pick the things out by ear, but it's good to know specifically what was written. In Steve Jobs' biography, he mentioned reading the autobiography of a yogi once a year. I've read this before, but I didn't have a copy. Here's some sheet music, the Beatles. And at first I was thinking, nah, I don't need Hard Day's Night and She Loves You and stuff like that, that 145 stuff. But then as I was going through, I saw Eleanor Rigby, and I said, oh, yeah, that's Wes Montgomery's done it. A lot of people have done it. It's a standard. I want to see specifically how it's written out. That's just ways to practice. I'm hoping at some point I'm blessed to be able to have a grandchild, and I saw that and thought to myself, man, maybe for my future grandchild, I need to get this, but I'm not a hoarder. $2.99 per disc, which is kind of steep, but as you can see, I noticed that they have restocked the CDs, and I'm a CD guy too. So I got something about those 20th century compilations too, and it's, man, for some reason, I just love the way they're mastered. Oh, I'm on this record. I show it every once in a while. At some point, I'm going to buy the plaque too, because it went platinum. So I'm going through, CDs and seeing how it's looking. If you see something in here that I missed on, just put that in comments. Oh, I almost got that, but the condition wasn't right. That Johnny Cash Kids album. And I wanted to say that any feedback you want to give me on this vlog is much appreciated. Please do so in the comments. This group and I have shared space in the bins all my career. I like to see June Pointer at any time. I'm going to send this to my father. He listens to Jimmy Swagger, and I sampled him on my first demo in 1990. Some of the stuff that I was considering buying, depending on the condition, you got to check and make sure the CD is in there, and you also got to make sure the condition is all right. So there go June again. It's just something about June Pointer. A couple of disco comps with some rare joints on there. And then I saw this Smith's greatest hits too, so I grabbed it. That's some more of the other haul. And so now I'm about to go see Nate Smith. Nate Smith is an incredible drummer and a great band leader. He's just the real deal, and it's just great to see good musicians out here still. And he was so close to where I live, I had to go. Back to the program. I love reading them handmade signs. And I used to carry a backpack, but you can't really do that no more. So I got that sling type of thing. Keep a gimbal in it. It's more like a camera bag. But I just love these signs going into it. That's how you just more, of course, the fodder. I love reading those signs because they're really trying to get your attention. Coolio's record company invited me and my band to see him in France in '96, but I've never met Chino XL. But it was wild running into this. It gets real wild when you're trying to chase money off of your creativity. It's doable. You just have to get a method and put a system in place. If you want to be big, you have to try to make big records. I always hoped that I would stumble across a big record, and that's what happened to me with Pot Holders and a couple other songs in my catalog. But it didn't happen because I was trying to set out to do something. I was merely doing my thing, and they happened. And that's what I always try to encourage young people is just do your thing. The records will come, but you have to stay consistent and stay true to the game. But something will come, and it'll change your whole life for the rest of your life. But trying to set out to do it is going to be very frustrating because there's a lot of variables to this game that you don't control. The author of Dilla Time, about J Dilla, was with Chino XL when they went to record with him. See you next month. For now, enjoy my new box planner with a brand new plant.